Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to another episode of Battle of the Schmoes, episode 3. This week we got 3 big matches to talk about, and man, I'm really excited to talk about it, and I know my co-host, Cody, is here. Really excited to talk about it. So Cody, why don't you give us your initial thoughts and what your guys' thoughts are?
All right, so this week's match of the Schmodown, we got 3 episodes this week, and man, it was an absolute treat. As a horror fan, as geeks that live in this world that love movies, this week all around in terms of the Schmodown was just overall fantastic. It pretty much delivered on all aspects. We'll get into more detail about our personal opinions about each one of the episodes, but first, before we do that, you guys should know that you can find Battle of the Schmoes on both iTunes and SoundCloud. If you don't have the opportunity to listen to or watch this little episode today, don't worry. Either tomorrow or the next day, this episode of Battle of the Schmoes will be up on iTunes and SoundCloud, so go check that out. But Zach, I'd say let's just start talking about these episodes, because there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, no, totally agree. Let's just start with the first match of the week, the Innergeekdom. Now, let me tell you, Innergeekdom match really well. There's a lot of great competitors, new ones in here. Of course, we've seen Koi before, and I like Koi. I really, really like Koi. I think Crazy Koi is a really good competitor. I thought he would do better this time around, but, you know, I think he got some hardball questions. Of course, we've seen Adam Helvek before, but I think 2 of my big standouts here is the Enforcer Mark, and also, I really like Keaton Magic. I thought she was an enjoyable, adorable watch in adding into the Schmodown. I hope we get more of her later down the road. But what about you, Cody? What are your initial thoughts of the Innergeekdom?
I completely agree. The standouts for me, I've always been a big fan of Koi. He's a giant superhero, Marvel, DC. He's a giant nerd, essentially, is what it comes down to. And ever since I saw him I believe it was 2016's movie fights, I've been on his side since then. And it was great to see him be on the Schmodown once again. We also got Mike Carlson in there. And yeah, Keaton, I was so glad that she was in here, because she, very much like Rachel Cushing, she started out in the Innergeekdom, and although Keaton has come out and said she's a giant geek like all of us. She loves Star Wars. She loves Harry Potter. She loves all these things. I would love to see her move forward in the Schmodown matches. But of course, you got to start out somewhere. But overall, Zach, I was really pleased with this episode because, you know, the Innergeekdom fan in me, it just made me so happy, because all the questions, the Innergeekdom is just something that I am happy they celebrate, because not everybody is giant movie fans who have tons of movie knowledge. Some fans are just that. They're geeks. They're people who love superhero movies or Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings. And this match was just overall great. But Zach, what do you think?
So easily. I love the match. I think a lot of the questions in here are great. I mean, if I join the Innergeekdom, I would really have to study up hard on my Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter. Sorry to all those fans out there. But, you know, the one thing that really impresses me is just how much knowledge these guys have. I mean, there are some questions that they get thrown, and I'm like, I have no idea. I mean, those Harry Potter questions, I know you and me were talking about before, and how you said the Harry Potter questions, you would pretty much get them all right. For me, though, that's tough when you're asking what teacher did this and who portrayed that person, or what is the teacher's name. It's like, man, there are so many different Harry Potter teachers, and each one, sometimes they change what classes they change and what movie they teach it in. It's bonkers. But Innergeekdom, it is for true geeks. I mean, like, come on, if you like movies, maybe you're not a geek. Maybe you don't like comic movies. Maybe you don't like this type of stuff. But when you go into the Innergeekdom, it's all geek questions. Some ranging so easy to some ranging right off the edge of a cliff, being so obscure and not knowing what it is. But that's the best thing about it, is some of them are really obscure, and when you get those, they're the best.
Yeah, they absolutely are. And you know, you mentioned Harry Potter and how Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, those are certain categories that you would have to study for. Me personally, I would have to study for the Star Trek, because yes, I'm a giant Trekkie. I love Star Trek, but I'm not one of those people that memorizes everything there is to know about Star Trek. I love it, but there's a lot of stuff. In all honesty, though, yeah, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, pretty much any other category, I feel like I would have a good chance in. And out of any of the Schmodown matches, the Innergeekdom is where I think I find myself to be truly, truly home. And it was just really enthralling to see how everybody participated, everybody's passion towards this. And man, it was just so exciting to see even the new people like Keaton, where they just excelled and they pushed themselves forward. I remember that Keaton at the very beginning of the Innergeekdom, she started out slow. It didn't really look like she was going to progress very far, but she did. She winding making it all the way to the last round of this entire game. And as somebody starting out with these kinds of movie trivia games, it's fairly impressive.
Yeah, no, I agree. She was one of the ones when she started. I was like, come on, get some questions. And then she just started rocking. I mean, it came down to the final thing. Coy got knocked out first. Mike Carlson, I liked his style in here, his personality he came in here. I mean, it was just entertaining to see how he came in. But really, I think the two big standouts in here is Donica and Helvig. Helvig, I mean, we've seen him in here before in the teams with Hector Navarro. And the thing is that I think Helvig should be teaming up in the actual movie trivia with someone else, maybe a John Schnepp or someone, or even Robert Meyer Burnett, since they both have a hatred for Hector Navarro. I think that would be just a cool idea to throw in there. But really, Donica, he is a badass. Just his style, the way he's taking questions. And then, of course, we get to the end of the match, and let's talk about this. Donica won. But who walks in the post-interview to ask him a question? The Lions Den. And Cody, I know you kind of don't like the Lions Den at times, but see, I think it is so entertaining to watch the Lions Den. They are so entertaining at times. And I mean, come on, when Finstock, Dagnino, whatever the hell you want to call him, when he walks in, you know it's going to be funny. You know it's going to be some entertainment there. And I loved how they asked Donica. I don't know if Donica's said yes yet, but I have a feeling we have a new Lions Den member. What about you?
No, absolutely. And look, people need to not misstrewn my words here because Zach, yes, I'm not the biggest fan of the Lions Den, but that's because of their personalities. But the thing I love about the Lions Den as well is their personalities because of their attitude towards the Schmodown, towards every other competitor. It is absurdly entertaining to say the least. They come at it, and the Lions Den, for the most part, they are brilliant players in this game of Schmodown, no matter what they're playing. But their attitude is just so utterly brilliant and great. You know what, Zach? Go right ahead. I want you to talk about the Lions Den.
They're fun. They're awesome. I mean, they have some of the best competitors in there. Given they did lose Mark Andrenko. The android is one of the best players in there. But, I mean, you really look at this, and I think having Donica come and join them is a really good choice for Donica's move because he's a new competitor. But, I mean, he comes out and strikes forth into this Innergeekdom and kicked a lot of ass in here. And I really do think he has a very bright future in here. But all these people have bright futures. All these people who played in the Innergeekdom have bright futures. I even think Coy does. I think Coy, I think it's going to take one game where he's just going to kick a ton of ass and really come forward and come through. Mike Carlson's a very entertaining watch. We'll have to see where he goes. I like seeing more women in the whole Schmodown in general. I like seeing more women. I hope we get more of that this season. I think Donica and Helvig are really the two that coming out of the Innergeekdom that really impressed me the most. And just seeing the Lions Den come up to Donica, it's nice. They're still striking their places where they're at.
Absolutely. It is great to see more women into this. You guys know that since the beginning of doing Battle of the Schmoes, Zach and I, we have been supporting and in full support of every woman inside of the Schmodown, and we believe that it is their year this year. Rachel Cushing is going to take all the belts, all the records, and every participant every woman that jumps on board, they're going to do great. I mean, Keaton pretty much showed that she did great, and this was just her first match. Everything with the Schmodown, just upwards progression, where everything is going, it's really exciting to see. And speaking of excitement, Zach, I think we should talk about the episode that you and I agreed before we started this podcast up is our favorite episode. And that would be the Ash versus the Evil Dead episode with Bruce Campbell. And guys, let me tell you, Bruce Campbell, he should host, he should just be in everything, because this match of the Schmodown was one of the most entertaining ones we have ever gotten, in my opinion. But Zach, I know you are a much bigger fan of Ash versus the Evil Dead than I am, because I haven't even watched the show. So how about you kick this off?
Yeah, let me get that off. For the audio listeners, I'm so sorry. I'm like freaking out right now. Holy crap. Okay, when they announced this, I almost cried. Like, Evil Dead, I mean, Army of Darkness was one of the first movies I ever watched. I mean, it was one of the first movies I ever watched. Given the match, okay, the match at times was kind of a mess. The match at times didn't work out. Some of the questions were very easy. I think I would have only missed 2 questions when I was actually playing at home. I mean, Ash vs. the Evil Dead, I loved it. I mean, the show is great. I have to give a big plug to the show. If you've never watched Evil Dead, or if you have watched Evil Dead and you have not watched Ash vs. Evil Dead, go check it out. Because you're a big fan of the Evil Dead, you're going to love it. It's the same type of vibe, just Ash is now an old man. That's what it is. But Ash versus the Evil Dead, the celebrity match, I love seeing these celebrity matches for a very special reason. They're a ton of fun. Given the actors probably don't study movie trivia, but it's nice having, I know we had Whitney Seibold join in on Dana's side, and then Ray Santiago got John Schnepp. And I love seeing their teams. We had the Boomsticks and the Deadites. And, of course, the Deadites came out on top. I mean, my girl, Dana, is one of my favorite people in the whole Hollywood in general. She's a young star. She's a very young and upcoming star. I love seeing her win, especially Whitney. But, I mean, that doesn't go anything against the Boomsticks. The Boomsticks did miss out on a couple easy questions that I was like, how did you do this? But the thing that works so well about this match that I just, Bruce Campbell at the desk talking with Mark Riley, Mark Ellis, and all giving questions. And I mean, I think a lot of people are going to point out to when Bruce Campbell gave away the answer. I died laughing. I mean, Bruce Campbell, when he's doing his voices, the way he's commentating, it's just great. He was a great commentator to the whole game. And it was just a fun match. I had a smile on my face the whole entire time I was watching it. And just, I agree. Some people won't like, I see in the live chat, some people are not liking that Bruce Campbell gave away some of the questions, but given at the same time, it's Celebrity Edition. If this was a true match, this would be an issue. But I really had I had a ton of fun with this match. What about you, Cody?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And for those of you who want to know a little bit of my history when it comes to the Evil Dead, when it comes to Ash versus the Evil Dead, or lack thereof, like I said, for those of you listening, I am currently holding the copies of Evil Dead 2, and Army of Darkness that Zach sent me, because he's very passionate about not only the series, but about Ash versus the Evil Dead, and he's been trying to get me to watch it for quite some time now, I must say. And after seeing this episode of the Schmodown, I completely understand why. Because if there's one person that would make me want to start watching all of this, it is Bruce Campbell. I mean, the fact of the matter is, his charisma, his energy just towards all the stuff that was happening inside of the Schmodown during this match, it was so funny. It was so great. And I mean, especially one of my favorite parts from the Schmodown was the Van Helsing question, where the question was, who played Van Helsing in the 2004 film Van Helsing? And Bruce Campbell's hint was, this actor is also the Greatest Showman. And the greatest part about this match is, I believe it was only the Deadites who actually got the answer right. And the Boomsticks, John Schnepp. And the Boomsticks, all they had was a squiggle line, even after the hint that Bruce Campbell gave. I mean, this match, guys, I might be seeming a little overly hyper, but this was great. I mean, I've never been so happy about a match in the Schmodown as I was for this match, since the kids from It participated in their own miniature Schmodown. I mean, this whole thing, it was just so full of energy, so hyper, and so great. And plus, most, if not all, of the questions were horror related. And you know, guys, that for me and Zach, that is a major plus.
Yeah, I mean, the whole match was a ton of fun. I really had a lot of fun with this match. The commentating, I think, is the big thing to take away from it. The questions were great. I thought they added to it. I loved seeing the spinning board. This reminds me, I miss the horror show Collider did. And I kind of hope they do more Collider horror themed episodes. I think that would be a very fun kind of side thing to do. Make a belt for that. Hell, I'll come in and win that shit. Mark Ellis, Christian Harloff, you listening? I will come in and beat everyone's ass at the horror category, including the Deadites. It does not matter. I will win. But yeah, no, I really like Schnepp. I wish we saw more Schnepp in the Schmodown, but really just a ton of fun blast. Do you have anything else to say about this match, Cody?
Mostly just for the people who haven't seen it or the people who are listening right now and they're like, what is this match? What is this Schmodown thing? If there is a match within the movie trivia Schmodown, if you are interested in checking this show out, this is a match that and I'm pretty sure Zach does too, we highly recommend you going to watch because it is really a great gateway episode into watching what else the Schmodown has to offer. And not to mention, once again, the way the episodes are hosted, the graphics that go along with the show, the designs for each one of the types of Schmodown episodes. It's just so well constructed and so professionally put together that it's a joy to watch from beginning to end.
Yeah, no, completely agree with you that. But now we go to the last match of the week, which not my favorite match of the week. Which going into the week, I was like, that's obviously going to be my second favorite one because Astros and Evil Dead comes on top for everything for me. But it's Sneider versus Ellis. Pretty nice match. Pretty underwhelming match, I would say. I thought it was going to be more niche and nick back to back, but it really was Sneider's game to win. I think Ellis kind of threw out some softballs, but he did get some hard questions as well that I would not have gotten right. But I will say, Mark Ellis won for best entrance of the week. Come on, let's be honest. I was smiling and laughing the whole time right as he entered in.
Yeah, no, Zach, and I say, yeah, no, a lot. But yes, this match, to be perfectly honest, it was my least favorite of the week. It was okay as far as the Schmodown match is concerned, but in my opinion, it's kind of like the hype after the first Iron Man film came out. We've gotten so much hyper. We got so excited for the match that was going to be Ellis versus Sneider. We got so pumped out of our mind, and then the match comes, and it's a little bit like Iron Man 2, where it's enjoyable to watch, but it's kind of a letdown to what we were expecting. But overall, this was an enjoyable match. And some of the questions, they were indeed hard. And Mark Ellis's entrance, it was out of this world crazy awesome. But, I mean, I'm sure there will be better matches in the future. I'm just hoping if they have another match like this, where it's the Clash of the Titans, essentially, that they up their game just a little bit. But overall, once again, no complaints about the hosting, no complaints about some of the questions, no complaints really about any of the technical stuff. It's just the match was just fine, in all honesty.
Yeah, no, I will say, maybe Cody, maybe you're a little bit underwhelmed because Jeff Sneider won. Maybe you're not a big fan of the Lions Den. I might throw that shade a bit at you again. But
you know what, Zach?
Going in, I was cheering for Ellis. As much as I like Sneider, I think Sneider is one of the best competitors in the game. I wanted to see Ellis win a game. The guy, I think the Schmodown's been a little tough on him the last couple of matches that he's had, and it's kind of disappointing. I think the team Schmoes needs to get back in the ring and help this world out. Now I get it, given they kind of have a little retirement issue going on, but you know, Ellis, Christian, get back in the match. Team matches. Come on, guys. I know you guys can want to do it. But no, yeah, like you said, this was a fine match. I think it's really cool. I'm excited to see where Sneider goes with the rest of this year. I think this could be Sneider's year. I think if I have my prediction that Cushing is going to take the belt, but I think Sneider is going to make his way up to the top. I think he's going to kick some ass this year.
Absolutely. I could not agree with you more. Sneider, look, he's part of the Lions Den, and yes, that was a little bit of shade you threw my way, Zach, but I don't mind, because here's the thing. It's like I always say, I don't like the personalities that the Lions Den portray they have, but I'm not going to say they don't give us interesting, entertaining, and great matches, because they do. They do give us those kinds of matches because they are so knowledgeable about movies in general. And their personalities are great to go along with their knowledge because it just makes us laugh and it makes us just enjoy seeing what we're watching. So I don't really have any complaints, but Zach is absolutely right. Mark and Christian, you guys need to get back into the game, man. You guys need to start doing a team again because you could be on top. You could be on top. You guys are the ones that started this whole game. You started everything we know about the Schmoes. You need to start putting yourself out there again and taking your title on the team match once again. You guys are great. You have a profound knowledge of movies. You deserve to be on top, is pretty much what I'm saying. You guys need to get back in there.
Now, I will say one thing before we move on to the live question. So if you're in the live chat, if you're talking, I know we did film this a little bit earlier, so if you're catching us later, awesome. Thank you for coming in. But if you are in the live chat right now, make sure to leave down some questions. We'll be starting to answer your guys' question in the next couple of minutes. Make sure to do that. And of course, if you're listening to audio, we always do these on Saturday's day. Of course, we're doing it a little bit earlier, like I said, just because me and Cody have some special things to film, which I'm going to do a little plug for our Sweet Film Awards. If you don't know, on our YouTube channel, we're doing our own Sweet Film Awards, where a bunch of YouTubers have gotten together and we all laid out some nominations and we have our winners. So today is our filming day, but it's going to be a ton of fun. But of course, the last thing I want to mention is Mark Ellis, you're funny as hell. I love when you play or even when you're commentating, because you give some of the best commentary during the whole match. I just think it's so entertaining. It's so fun.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And double plug to piggyback off of what Zach was saying. Guys, the Sweet Film Awards, besides the fact that Zach and I are getting everything together today, the Sweet Film Awards are coming out next week. They are coming out the 25th and the 26th of February. We hope you guys are ready. The Oscars and the Golden Globes, they're fine, but Zach and I, we wanted to bring it back to the people. We wanted to bring it back to movie-loving fans. We wanted to take all the stuff that people don't like about movie award shows out of it and have it just be a pure experience. We got great people to come along and do this journey with us. So we hope to see you there. We hope you'll enjoy it. Guys, this is for you, and we can't wait to see you there.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a ton of fun. But really, let's get into the question. So Scrooge, man, I cannot talk today. Scourge is in the chat today, and he says, what are your guys' thoughts on the future matches posted today? Do you have the future matches up? I know there's some coming up. Of course, we can talk about the championship match. The championship matches coming up. Those are going to be really fun. Man, Patriots versus top 10. I think that's the one I'm more excited for overall. If I'm being completely honest, I don't know about you.
Yeah, that is something where I'm kind of torn between, because I love both of the championship matches that we are getting. But I guess it comes down to, I'm going to have to agree with you, because John Roca, Team Top 10 and versus Team Patriots, it's about time for them to get the belting records back, because like I said, look, Team Top 10, they are a great team. They have a lot of movie knowledge, but it's time for the belt to be taken away from them so they can be humbled a little bit. But knowing JTE and Team Patriots, they'll probably say that it wasn't their fault that they lost, that the game was rigged. And that'll just make for an entertaining show, to say the least. But no, I'm not. As far as the championship matches I know of, I don't really know of any of the other future matches, because I don't have the list directly in front of me. What about you, Zach?
Really, those are the only two that are off the top of my head. I know there's a couple others coming up. I know Bonnie Somerville's coming back to the Schmodown later. I don't know if they've locked down a match yet for her, but I'm excited to see that and see where she is, because she hasn't been in a couple of years. But she was a really good competitor when she was in it. But overall, like, I honestly don't like looking at who's coming up. I actually kind of like just being surprised when it comes up, or I see it on my social media, like, oh, hey, that's who's playing this week. Awesome. And maybe that's not as good for my fantasy draft when I have fantasy picks to go with, but no, overall. But I think there is one special thing I should probably talk about, and that is that I'm going to the live Schmodown match in LA on March 15th, which is an awesome thing that Christian Harloff and Mark Ellis and everyone at Collider is putting together. I wish you could be coming, Cody, but really just it's a cool experience that they're actually doing. And I'm wondering how the flavor of the WWE is going to be there. I think it's going to be a ton of fun.
Yeah, I wish I could go too. But one thing you guys need to understand, and the reason why we're doing over webcam and not live, is because Zach lives in Arizona. I live in Maine. And so I would go if I could. And I completely respect Christian and Mark and all of them for doing this, for hosting a live event. And Zach, I'm so happy that you get to go and have that experience. And hey, it'll just give us more stuff to talk about on this show. You can talk about that experience. I can question you about it, and we can just go from there. But either way, it's going to be some grand, to say the least. And Zach, it doesn't, let's see here, February 20th, box office breakdown news versus superhero news is what Scourge says is coming up for one of the future matches.
Okay. I actually really like that one. I like box office breakdown. We haven't seen a team like that. I wonder who's going to be on the team because that used to be JT and Dagnino's rule. But he did also just post Bonnie versus Jean. Yes, Bonnie's coming back, baby. I'm telling you guys, Bonnie's on my side. I think she's going to kick some serious ass this match. I'm anticipating. I like seeing more women competitors. We already stated this, but I like seeing more women competitors. Looks like he also put it Lingsman versus the World's Finest. I don't know who that is, but I'm curious to see it.
Well, with each new addition that they decide to add to the Schmoedown, it'll be great to see. Like we already said, the Innergeekdom match introduced us to some individuals we're not used to seeing when it comes to the Schmoedown or the Innergeekdom. So that's great. And okay, it doesn't really look like we have a lot more questions. So I think for at least the last couple of minutes that we've got this podcast up, we should take some time to talk about something before we leave. Guys, if you have not gone out to see Black Panther yet, Zach and I could not highly recommend you going out to see it more. This is a film, I don't want to talk too much about it because you guys need to go out and experience it. It's a film that is so different from every other film in the MCU that we've gotten so far that it's just an experience that I can't encompass in talking about it right here. But if you guys like films that will change your perspective on things, or you like really, really entertaining movies, you need to go see it. I know this is a Battle of the Schmoes thing, but Zach and I, we just felt it's important to bring this film up because everybody should be going out to see it. What about you, Zach?
Yeah, I mean, you stole every word out of my mouth. Please go and see Black Panther this weekend. I really do think it's one of the best. And before we go, this is the last thing I'm going to take from the live chat. Scourge also throws in here, March 2nd is Makuga versus Scarpino, which that's going to be a very entertaining match because both of those are, we got the ladies man and we got the wild man popping in. I think that's going to be really fun. I like seeing Scarpino. I'm glad to see he's coming back. But Makuga is the one of the best competitors at guessing and in general, but also that same day, it's Bibiani versus McWeenie, which I'm just saying, but that's a match that I think everyone has been waiting for. And that's the thing. McWeenie is an unstoppable monster, but at the same time, Bibiani, when he's on his A game, I mean, that first match we ever saw him, he kicked a lot of ass. And overall, I cannot wait to see that match. Honestly, Bibiani versus McWeenie might be my most anticipated one for the next couple of weeks.
Absolutely. I mean, this is Darth Vader versus Luke Skywalker. This is Captain America versus Iron Man. These are two great forces who know so much and have so much movie knowledge coming to head in a Schmoedown match. And you can better believe that both McWeenie and Bibiani, they are going to be on their A game for this match. And it's going to be entertaining, to say the least. I can't wait. They have both such an extensive movie knowledge that it's going to be like with Mark Ellis, like with Sneider, it's going to be a clash of the titans for sure.
Yep, totally agree with you. But guys, that's our show. That was the episode number 3 podcast. And thank you, of course, for always joining us. This was a ton of fun to be talking about. I can't wait for the next few matches that we're going to be talking about. And I think there's a lot of good stuff coming into the Schmoedown. Of course, just like Cody's going to say, why don't you let us know where they can find you, Cody, and where they can find those sound links and iTunes links once again.
Okay. All right. So, guys, as always, you can find me. You can find me on YouTube. It's Cody Curtis, should be the first name that pops up. Also on Twitter at _Cody_Curtis. Always happy to be here with Zach co-hosting and talking about the Schmoedown. And guys, as always, if you missed this episode and you don't really have a lot of time, but you want to catch it up, you can listen to it either through SoundCloud or on iTunes. It won't be up today, but it will be up either tomorrow or on Monday. So we hope to see you guys there. And for those of you who are audio-only listeners, thank you so much for tuning in and listening. It means a lot, you guys.
Yep, of course. You guys are all the best. I always say this. I always mean it. And it's true. You guys are all the best and completely are. Everyone who supports this show, everyone who supports both of us, YouTubers, you know, we're young and in the making YouTubers, but that's what's great about here. I love the Schmoedown. I love everything coming up ahead. And of course, me and Cody both have great things. So make sure to go check his YouTube channel out as well, Cody Curtis. Find him on Twitter at Cody Curtis as well. You can find me at Pope the King on Twitter and also on YouTube at Zach Pope. I should be one of the first 2 Zach Popes pop up. One of them is kind of doesn't review movies. I don't even know what the hell he does. But the other one is me as a Pop Funko figure, and I review movies and do all sorts of things just like Cody does. But you guys are all the best. Of course, thank you so much for watching, and stay classy.